hardcore.
Like granite?
Yes, the harder the better. That's what she said.
That's what she said. Welcome back to the Dealing Seconds podcast. We're the Cards and Beards crew. I'm Chris.
And I'm Danny.
I'm John.
Guys, it's been a while. It's been a couple weeks since we've done this. I mean, we've had a little, personal issues we've been dealing with and things that we've had to get, settled. But we're back, guys. Don't worry. We are back. We're not gone. We're still putting out the content for you guys because we're here for you guys.
You're stuck with us.
Yeah, you kind of are.
I'll be there for you.
It's like. See, I wanted to give an analogy, but then in my head I was like, "Oh, the great analogy," but I'm like, "This is not going to work." So I'm just going to shut up. I'm just going to shut up. Just keep my mouth shut because honestly, no. It's like we're white on rice. Oh God.
I like fried rice better than white rice.
Yeah, pork fried rice.
But then when I do white rice, it's just
Sushi.
so much soy sauce in it that it's just brown rice.
It's all about white rice with a little bit of butter, and black pepper, and a little bit of salt. That's all you need.
Give me
Butter.
Give me rice.
Have you never put butter in your rice?
Nope.
I don't really eat white rice.
Oh.
I want it fried with all the
saying.
crap in it.
See,
yes, that's also good.
I made rice today. I actually did rice and beans, Spanish rice and beans, yellow rice and beans.
That sounds good. Sounds good.
That's I'm meal prep for the week. Yes, Fluffy's trying to get defluff a little. Drop the 40 pounds.
Fluffy.
Don't worry, I'll take that 40 from you.
No. But yeah,
man.
it's been a while. I mean, we're we haven't done this for a couple weeks. I feel a little like, oh shit. I feel a little weird. Like, oh, we're actually doing this again. No, but we were actually talking earlier, guys. Before the podcast, we were talking about this, and we were like, you know what? Let's just record this because it's actually a really good topic we want to talk about. We were talking about shipping products within this community, like how companies ship things, how things come to your house. Because recently, all of us have gotten items in the mail that end up, that look exactly. But let's imagine that without the box. It's a bubble mailer.
And without the DS1.
And without a DS1.
Sorry, Sally.
I was about to say, is that Sal
Yeah.
on this deck? I was like, oh.
Yeah, his gilded
Bubblegum?
pink bubblegum, which is a great deck, by the way.
And you had to throw the pink bubblegum.
It's in the DS1. Plus, I have one unopened. It's okay.
Okay.
We're okay. No decks were harmed in the filming of this video.
None whatsoever. But that just shows, how a lot of companies actually do that. I mean, you have big companies like Art of Play and Murphy's. They just send out their decks in a little bit of bubble wrap in a bubble mailer, ship it. And it's like, why? When you have things like boxes to ship in. Like, it makes more sense. Put bubble wrap in a box. This is not going to break, and ship it. And I mean, Henry was a big proponent. Henry from SoCal, he was a big proponent of, friends don't let friends use bubble mailers.
Yeah.
And it's like
Henry's great. Henry's got usually, decks are wrapped in bubble wrap. Then they're put in a box. That box is put in an envelope, et cetera, et cetera. I've never had one shipping issue with Henry.
Well, maybe Art of Play and Murphy's is not our friends. And that's sad, because I like Murphy's magic.
I like Murphy's as well, but it's just like you're a big company that deals with a ton of people. And I mean, we're not the only ones that get this. I mean, even probably people like Henry at SoCal and all these other card companies that buy from Murphy's to sell in their shop, they're probably getting stuff, and they get stuff that's dinged. But, like, come on. Your company does this over and over again.
I remember, this was a while back, Henry got you remember when they released that Playboy deck?
Yeah.
And I think Henry got three bricks of them, and they were every single one was damaged.
Every one. And those weren't cheap, right?
No, yeah, he was, you could tell he was trying to be nice, but as he was opening them up, on his live, he was just, you could see it more and more. And he laid them all out, and it was bad. It was pretty bad. And it doesn't make sense. It's in this industry, I would say there's probably more collectors than there are users.
Yes.
So knowing that, especially with companies like Theory 11 and Art of Play, I don't even understand why bubble mailers would be in your back room to put stuff in to begin with. It doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't.
And Theory 11 is starting to even just throw your deck in a box with no protection. That's almost just as bad.
With a little bit of paper. With a little bit of paper.
Paper.
And it's like, why? why? I mean, we've all gotten cards in the mail. Like I recently got the Remedies from Black Roses, and they shipped through Murphy's. And I got one of each, a black and a pink, bubble mailer, a little bit of bubble wrap, came in, black one was dinged. Pink one was fine. Of course, I reached out to Daniel Schneider, and Schneider, being the gentleman that he is, immediately responded, and he was apologetic and everything like that, and immediately asked me for my order number, and of course, generously sent me out another Black Remedies deck that came today.
Well, that's the customer service of Daniel Schneider.
Yeah, but now here, because it's Daniel Schneider and he probably yelled at Murphy's, I get that instead of a bubble mailer, they put it in a box. Yep. With ample bubble wrap, with ample bubble wrap.
Oh yeah.
Like, come on, that's kind of funny.
But come on, okay, you're a company that can afford a ton of boxes, and you get these for cheap. Don't get me wrong, like Uline, Uline is a huge company. The more you buy, the cheaper it gets. You can get these for like, honestly, like 50 cents. The volume that they do, these boxes probably cost them 50 cents max at the volume that they do. So how hard is it to put a freaking deck in a box with bubble wrap and ship it?
Especially if that's what your business is shipping playing cards. And
I understand you can't put them in DS1s because sometimes DS1s cost a little more money, and then it's labor intensive. You got to make the DS1, put it in. I mean, Henry takes that extra step because it's Henry, but Murphy's being Murphy's selling thousands and thousands of decks. I get it, but you know what? If you're not doing DS1s, put it in a freaking box. You have the ability to do it. Just do it already, and it's.
So now, did they let you keep the one that was damaged?
Yeah, Daniel immediately was like, you know what? Keep the one that's damaged. I am so sorry. Use it. Keep it. Do whatever you want with it. I'm sending you another one. So I opened the black one, and now I'm keeping this one sealed. As a thank you. I'm like, shit. Okay.
So one thing that bugs me, I've had two recent experiences with this. One was the
was it Talon Rot?
Yeah, so the Talon Rot decks from Kickstarter showed up. Now they came from Germany, right? So Germany to US that's quite a long journey. You would think that packaging would be a huge deal, especially for the miles traveled. It showed up in a very thin cardboard box. It's about the size of a dinner plate and only maybe an inch tall, inch and a quarter, and it was thin. And it had some packing peanuts just kind of tossed in. And then my decks were just in there loosely. So I grabbed it and I could shake it. And it sounded like there was just rocks. And so I opened it. And all four decks were, every corner was smashed. One of them was a limited edition deck. And it's not like something you can just
replace,
get back. Right. So I messaged them right away. And I was like, hey, I sent a photo and I was like, let's be completely honest. This is unacceptable. I said, you're shipping to how many backers? You had money in there for shipping costs. How is this? I would like replacements. And I was told that there's just no way that they can send me anything else. The packaging was to their standards, I guess. They saw it as sufficient packaging. And so there's nothing they could do. And then the last sentence was, so thank you for understanding. I was like, there's no understanding here. This is BS. So I was told no. So I bought them to, one of each to have, and then I bought 2 extras to cut. I can't cut them now because they're damaged. The second one that I dealt with was Illusionist, and I know I let you guys know about this one a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So I ordered a half brick for cutting. I got some killer bees, some queen bees, and something I can't remember even anymore, some bike decks. And granted, I didn't pay much. I think they were like $4 or $5 a deck. So a half brick came in a bubble mailer. All the bubbles in the mailer were flat. There was no extra packaging inside, and they were all just smashed to shit, to the point the cards were damaged inside. So I messaged them, and I was like, this is crap. Like, I want new decks. Like, this is insane. And I was told then that I could ship them back, and then they would send me replacements, to which I said hell no. There's no way I'm paying my money to ship you your decks that you damaged, and I will keep these ones, and you can just send me new ones. And this was all on Instagram, so there was other people piping in to Illusionist as well, and they were like, "You need to send new decks. This is bullshit." Like all this stuff. And then one topic was brought up of if your standard shipping is in bubble mailers, why not offer for an extra fee a box? But then they got me thinking, why not just up your shipping a buck?
Yeah.
And just get boxes.
Yeah.
And just be done with it.
Yeah.
So they were told, well, we'll go ahead and pay for the shipping, and then we'll send you new ones. And I'm like, okay. So I'm going to go through the hassle of you sending me a shipping label, then me sending these back, and then hoping to God that you send me a half brick again that doesn't arrive damaged, because I still don't know how you're going to package them. So thanks, but no thanks. I'll just keep them and destroy them, practice stuff with them, and I will never buy decks from you again. We'll come to find out through all this.
Sorry.
Well, through all of this and people seeing it on my feed, it's a huge problem with these guys. I had no idea.
I was just about to say that's why I don't buy from them.
I had no clue.
You can almost guarantee you're getting damaged decks.
Oh man, I was slightly upset.
I mean, it's funny. Like 2 Super Bowls ago, Henry from SoCal always does like a halftime giveaway show, right? Where basically he's just giving people decks because the questions are super easy. I got a half brick of Illusionist decks from him. Guess what?
All damaged.
No. For some reason, Henry had undamaged Illusionist decks. So the only Illusion decks that I have that are not damaged came from Henry on a giveaway.
Wow.
But I mean, that's once I got a few things from them in the past, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
You know, I'm done. And plus, you know what? To be honest with you, I'm not really into the stuff they sell. So.
I mean, I was like that with Art of Play. I was like that with Art of Play when I first got into this community. You know, I was buying like the red bikes and the blue bikes from Art of Play and everything like that, the DKNY ones. Or whatever. Yeah, I think they're called that. I forgot what
the wheels.
The wheels. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they would come in bubble mailers, and I'm like, and then all of a sudden, it was just getting more and more. And next thing you know, things started getting. I'm like, I'm done with AOP, and all of a sudden now I know Murphy's is doing it. I'm like, come on, how hard is it to just put the shit in a box?
Yeah.
But even nowadays, you have people like Theory 11 that. They'll put your stuff in the box. Originally, they will put it in the box with a ton of peanuts. But my last deck that I got from Theory 11, which was the Avengers deck, the green one, was in a box with a little bit of paper crumpled in. And the box was like twice, like a huge box, and a small little bitty deck. But barely any paper. But paper on top, not on the bottom. So if anything punctured one way, I'm like, what the really?
I mean, guys. Who does Fontaine's fulfillment? Is it Art of Play?
AOP.
Doesn't his stuff mostly come in boxes?
I'm guessing he probably pays extra for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know, because the only time I've ever ordered stuff of his, it's always brick boxes, so it has to come in a box.
Okay. So it's interesting you say.
I think I've gotten bulk mailers at Fontaine's, but it's funny. It's like, but then Fontaine will charge like $125 for something, and it'll get.
That's
shipped.
That's a whole nother fucking story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez.
Which we did talk on a previous episode.
Yes.
Sick plug.
The when you were talking those Green Avengers. So I ordered Green Avengers. I just got 3 decks, and same thing. They showed up. Just basically, it looked like they just opened the box, set them inside, stacked against each other, and just shoved some paper on top. Surprisingly, they shoved enough that they didn't get damaged. But my previous order from them, I ordered a half brick of those Dune decks.
Yeah.
And they all showed up. They were in a box, so they were in a half brick, just like your thin USPCC kind of thing, in another box with one piece of paper about a foot long, just kind of on top, and they all showed up completely smashed, like corners smashed. And I'd bought them for cutting, so I messaged Theory 11, and I was like, here's what I bought them for. now I have a half brick of decks that I normally wouldn't ever just buy a half brick of. It's like, what the fuck am I going to do with them? So they were like, hey, we're sorry for that. And I was like, dude, you guys need to like figure your shit out, right? And so they let me keep the half brick. They sent me a brand new half brick. The same way they shipped the other ones. Surprisingly, though, they came and they were undamaged. So that was nice. But so now I have a brick of Dune decks.
Hey,
I mean,
you got a half brick. You got a half brick of basically practice decks.
Yeah. See, what? This is the last deck I got from 311, and you can't really tell on the camera, but it's all like indented in here right along the bottom.
Yeah. Yep, I've had that from them as well.
And then dings everywhere. I mean, luckily the other one it came fine, so I won't open.
Well, and you know what's interesting, when it gets that kind of like that smashed in bottom of the tuck, it's almost like it's a stack.
Yeah.
Like too much weight,
and
they're not sitting perfectly flush.
I actually had that happen to me, and it was funny because it was a Kickstarter I backed. It was the Shogun deck, Shogun from his deck. I remember I backed it and I got it in the mail from Henry, and Henry fulfilled it. Came in the mail, dead center of the tuck, and I mean dead center, was like indented in straight across, almost like as if it was like at the top of the palette, and they put that the band across, and it like crumpled it, and it was like exactly that on both sides, literally, like, so it was like right there on both sides. I took pictures of it, sent it straight to Shogun. Of course, he. I was like, hey, I'm not expecting a replacement or anything like that. I just want to show you that this is happening. I don't know if it's because I know he printed with Cardamundi, so I'm like, I don't know if this is Cardamundi's fault, sending them to Henry or whatnot, but just to be on the safe side, you might want to check with your backers if this, should happen again. And Shogun, and he was like super happy and thankful, and he actually sent me a replacement. Luckily, that one wasn't dinged, but I was just like, really? And then, but my thing was like, maybe Henry was just so much, and he was just fulfilling the orders, getting them done. He wasn't really going through the whole quality check, because I think that was when Henry was like just starting to do fulfillment, and it was like he had like a lot of them back to back. But still,
so let me ask you guys this: if Kickstarter campaign, no matter who fulfills it, you get damaged decks, who do you expect to fix it? The creator or the person that used the fulfillment, assuming they didn't fulfill it themselves? Who and what do you expect out of that?
I personally, like I did with Daniel Schneider, I go to the creator first. If it's a Kickstarter, I go to the creator first, because that creator now has a relationship with the fulfillment team. Mm-hmm. So I go to the creator, be like, hey, like I did with Daniel, like I did with Shogun. Hey, this happened. There was a damaged deck. I wouldn't just say. I would actually take pictures and the whole nine as proof, of course. Send it, and then hopefully the creator would actually be kind enough to be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Keep those. Let me reach out to the fulfillment. We'll send you new decks. Because you paid your hard-earned money, you should get exactly the way it should become pristine into your possession in pristine condition, because you paid for that.
See, I'm the same way. I'll go to the creator first. One, I want the creator to know how their shipper is handling their product.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But secondly, like Chris was saying, they already have been in communication with the company shipping. And them getting a hold of that company is much, much easier. And to be honest, I feel like it's kind of their responsibility, being the creator, to handle this issue and make sure it's corrected for you as the buyer.
Now, the only time a creator might be a sticky situation is if you have a limited deck and they don't have extras.
I have a perfect example of this. So, when I got my Eye of the Ocean decks, I can't remember what exactly it's called. I think it's the Solus Limited or whatever it is. So it's not the Quartermaster, but it's the one right under it. There was like 500 made or something like that, and he sold like, I think, roughly 400. It arrived and it had I don't want to say a small. I mean, it was kind of a middle of the road ding in the corner. It was on the backside, so you couldn't necessarily see it on the shelf. So nothing I'm really too worried about. But again, I paid extra for that one.
Yeah,
pretty limited run. So I messaged. Why can I remember? Thank you. Messaged Lorenzo personally, and I was like, hey, here's a photo of the deck. Everything else was great, but this one just seemed to have somehow gotten damaged. I didn't ask for a replacement. I said, hey, what can we do about this? So he gave me options. He said, well, I have all of the remaining decks personally with me, so I can either refund you your money and you keep the damaged one. I can pay for you to ship the damaged one, or not. Sorry, not. I can pay to ship you a new one, or we just leave it as it is. So, and then his kind of rules for shipping a new one was I had to show him through a video proof me destroying the other deck, because he wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to do like a resale for profit kind of thing. So he actually wanted me to. He said, no matter how you do it, you have to have a video of you literally tearing the deck into pieces, which is kind of interesting. But anyway, that's.
You know what? For that's not a bad compromise.
No, I mean, that's the thing though. For what his decks are, but at least he gave options. Whereas like
I
some
like
companies
the
are
options.
just like, well, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
that's good. And my experience with was with Orbit with the Cardstream V1. I bought them at the Orbit Jam when they released the sevens, and I was just too damn excited to be around cards for the first time in my life. I bought 4 of them, and I went home because I also got a V1 and a V2 of the original, so I gave 2 shits about these Cardstream ones. Got home and they were fucked up to the point where like the cards were messed up, and so I messaged Chris and he's just like, hey, send me the ones that have the damaged cards, and then I'll send you some back. He offered to pay, but I said, he lives 30 minutes from me. I'm not worried about that. And then he shipped me the replacements plus the damaged ones back.
Oh well.
Yeah, not much you could do with a lot of the damaged cards, but I gave a couple away to people who couldn't afford to get them to begin with, just so at least they had the deck, and obviously I kept one for my open and just gave some away, and I kept one sealed, one open, and then I gave the rest away to people. I kind of paid in for thing. So like I didn't mind paying for the shipping when it wasn't too far away, and it was kind of my fault because I should have checked at the Orbit Jam, you know what I mean? But and then also with the Mac Lethals. Right? Was that the one?
No, Aesop Rocks.
The Aesops where they showed up on Aesop's website early. Yep. And I bought them from there. And they came obviously in a box because they don't know. I'm not faulting anybody who doesn't sell cards for what they're doing. They should know better, but whoops. And Chris just said, "Here, I'll just send you a couple." That's it. He just from his personal collection, because he's one of those guys that he'll do stuff and he'll try to make it right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, when it comes to companies that don't normally sell decks,
like there's also, what was it? Theory 11 did the collab.
Billionaire Boys.
Exactly, the Billionaire Boys Club with the whole sticker on the
Oh
back of it.
God!
Where they
Every photo I saw of those was horrendous.
I was like, why?
Yeah.
Like, and it was. I mean, it was a limited run too. That was like.
Yeah, could you imagine? Yeah, a barcode sticker almost the size of the deck. I would be.
It's like when you buy bicycle decks at Walgreens.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and those Billionaire Boys, I think they were like what, almost $40 a deck.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be mad. I'd be so mad.
You know who else has great shipping or packaging?
It's as great as in their
when I was part of his, I haven't ordered the deck from him in a year, but
their packaging is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've gotten one of their decks, but they always come bubble wrapped, crush proof box.
They might be late.
But
they'll be in good condition.
might is a pretty nice way to put it.
Let's talk about late and poorly packaged. Does one person come to mind?
Late and poorly packaged?
You order them, they don't show up till maybe 9-10 months.
Oh, later. Daniel Madison.
Thank you.
Oh, jeez.
You order from Madison. I remember last year when I first got.
That's even if you get them.
Yeah.
I ordered. Luckily, I only ordered 2 decks from him. Only 2. It was the Strangers, the Madison Strangers, and I ordered 2 decks. I waited 6 months for them to come in.
Wow, jeez, dude,
6
that's
months.
like Kickstarter.
Yeah, I waited like
Oof.
5-6 months. They came from England in a bubble mailer.
Oh,
No bubble wrap around the decks
those had to be
themselves. Just throwing them in
destroyed.
there. One had dings galore. That was the one I opened. The other one was fine somehow. Don't know how. The second one I actually gave away in a giveaway, and I think Tone, over in Denmark, in Netherlands, excuse me, he's the one that won it that giveaway. So I sent him the non messed up one, and that one I put in a DS1. I did all that,
I don't know, man. I don't know why you would ever order from that guy directly, knowing.
Yeah, I was young and dumb in this community.
Did it smell like sausage?
Oh shit.
Funk.
So I don't own. I've never ordered any of those, only because I was lucky enough to see like the horror stories beforehand.
Good.
Yeah.
So I have a few, but I bought them secondhand from someone else.
Yeah,
Good.
I am a very vocal non-fan of that guy.
And any associates he has.
Yeah.
Well, I like Daniel Snyder.
No, not him. There's also one other person.
Illusionist.
No,
Yeah.
he worked.
Jeez, yeah,
He worked with Madison. That you backed his deck. You haven't gotten him.
Oh, you want to talk about Bill Davis?
There you go. See, that's what I'm talking about.
I don't want to waste my time or my breath talking about Bill Davis and why. It was my fault for backing his project, thinking it would come relatively on time.
Tell you what. Instead of wasting your breath talking about Bill Davis, let's use our breath and do a deck check.
Thank you.
Great segue. I like.
Let me get my Bill Davis deck.
Oh,
Oh wait, I don't have it yet.
Oh man.
Well,
Do you know he blamed Pelosi's visit to Taiwan for part of his delay. Okay, anyway,
Really?
moving on. Deck check, Chris. What you got?
Yep,
Me,
let's see it.
I think everybody's seeing what I've been using yet. I am using the Pink Remedies. Even though
By
it's
Daniel
not-
Schneider.
But by Schneider. This is the only reason why I will get these, because Schneider is involved and he makes sure you get your decks.
Yes.
So I have the black and the pink. I'm using the pink ones.
That pink is great looking.
Even don't get
It
me
is
wrong,
good pink.
I love half of the Daniels. One half of the Daniels that are a part of this, I'm a fan of. The other one, But the decks handle phenomenally, though.
I'm not a fan of the Remedies. I have them all because I collect Schneider, but that pink, bro.
It definitely pops. And
I'm excited. I've got the pink and black coming from Henry. They're supposed to be here this week.
Yeah, the pink is. I mean, it's like the orange cherries. It just you have to see it in person. The photos don't do shit for it.
Doesn't at all. And honestly, I personally think they handle really well.
I'm impressed, even though I don't want to be.
I'm impressed with these. And they have the patented card feel tuck like all of the Remedies do.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm like, okay. I've been breaking these in for like a week now that I've had them, and they still fan.
Nice.
I'm like, okay. What about you, John? What are you using?
I bought an extra just so I could do it. I busted out the Mac Lethals.
Ooh.
Nice.
Giving them an old run for their money. I didn't realize there's actually artwork down inside there too, which is kind of cool. I like it when an artist,
And if you use
does a
like
little
a
extra.
red light on it or something, doesn't it do something like show something else on the design? I don't know.
A black light?
Or or red
Something?
light. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I'll have to check it out.
We're not in the Netherlands. We're not in the red light district.
I like those.
Red light district?
Yes, that too. I like the Mac Lethals. I really like the Cardistrecon V2 though.
Yeah, I haven't opened those yet, only because I have
I
one.
like that. I know
want
it's
to
one
keep
way
one
back,
sealed.
but
They're both one ways. Even the Mac Lethals are one way.
yes, but the Orbit, the Cardistrecon one's blatantly one way.
100% one way.
But the colors just make me happy.
Yes.
It's it's almost like that California vibe and like just chill back, chill out, California
I'm
vibe.
saying, son.
How about you, Danny? What you got?
Well, I am using your good old Rider back, blue, but
Can't
it's
go
the
wrong.
Richard Turners, which you definitely cannot go wrong.
I've never had those. I've never handled one of those yet.
So I've had this for a while, and in the last week or so, I've been beating it into the ground, trying to learn a trick from Ollie Mealing's Fiverr Fridays that he's been doing. I'm part of his membership, so I don't have to pay extra for it. Learning a trick just to learn the technique. And so I'm like, well, if I'm gonna I don't really want to say how it's done. If I'm going to be learning that, I want to use a bicycle deck, and I'm like, I had these Richard Turners, and man, I've been beating them up, and they're still just, they're still beautiful, and they're cheap if you can find them. They're not that expensive, but I mean, I don't know what it is about them. I don't know much about them, why they're better than just the regular bicycle rider backs, but they are.
They're made with Richard Turner's blood.
Traditionally cut for the professional.
Are you a professional?
Okay. There you go.
No, I am
statement.
Not.
That was right in the microphone. Holy shit. Sorry there, guys.
All I heard was like in my ears. I'm like, holy shit.
But yeah. She handled them fine.
They work well.
Yeah.
I mean,
cool.
But yeah. So that's our
good choices for the week, that's for sure.
And guys, whatever you guys are using, let us know in the comments below. I definitely want to hear what everybody's been using, what everybody's been fidgeting with, or just breaking.
Card-wise, please. Card-wise.
Yes, card-wise, please.
Yes.
PG.
Yes.
PG. Please.
No,
yes.
PG-13. It's fine.
Okay, fine. PG-13. We'll go there. But yeah, getting back to the shipping. I mean, honestly, everybody knows. I think, in my opinion, the gold standard in this community is going to be Henry. He has like that gold standard for shipping, and everybody tries to be just like him because he just knows how to make sure you're paying your hard-earned money for something. Let me make sure you get what you pay for.
Agreed.
Even me, like, granted, I have. Funny enough was that I placed an order with Henry, and for simple rider backs, standard $3.50, the red rider backs from Henry, and I get a package, and in my packages I ordered 2 red rider backs because I just wanted to, because I use them for fidgeting all the time.
Mm-hmm.
One comes in the package. I'm like, didn't I order 2? All of a sudden, actually no, excuse me, 2 came in. 2 rider backs came in. I opened one. Okay, it comes in this DS1. I open the second one. There's a card in the DS1 along with the deck, and I'm looking at it, and and it's a note. And I start reading it. He was like, "We got this unfortunately damaged deck from from the distributor. Please keep it. We're sending you another one free of charge."
Nice.
For a $3.50 deck that I was just gonna beat the shit anyway, Henry still made sure. He was like, "Hey, we wanted to send you 2 decks. Keep one. We're getting a brand new one, and we're gonna make sure it's properly packaged, and we'll send it out to you also."
That's how you want.
I mean, something like that. That's only $3.50 that most people here are just gonna use to beat up. He wants to make sure. Yeah, I have. Hold on. I still have the whole fun pack.
Yeah. Yep. Same. Yeah. And it's amazing. That's one of the things that bug me is these big companies, and they just suck at shipping. And then you got Henry, who's just a small guy, literally doing it out of his living room.
Yep.
And
how do you know he's small?
We have a special relationship.
Mrs. Cortez knows just how big Henry is in multiple senses of the word. I mean, Max and Ruby came into this world because of something. You set yourself up for that one, John. Sorry.
That's all right.
I'm just showing all my
swag
here.
If he can do it out of his living room, in his kitchen table,
yeah.
Why can't you, the bigger company, who literally has a shipping department, for God's sake,
and have
do better?
Almost unlimited funds?
I see. You know what, Danny? I see your SoCal deck.
Oh God.
Never mind. Mine is tucked away safely. Can I get to it? I was going to raise you the last one ever sold deck, but
yeah.
I have a half brick SoCal decks. That's
nice. It. I've got 4. So, but I got the last one ever sold.
Yeah, you do have the last one ever sold. I do have the family signed one too. But
yeah, he sent me one of those
I got the signed family uncut sheet hanging on my wall in my living room.
It's no longer the only one.
I didn't say
he gave one away.
Yeah, but who has it hanging in their living room?
It's true.
That's true.
If I ever tried to hang an uncut sheet in my living room, I'm pretty sure I would get divorced.
I have 2.
Is that all it'll take?
Yeah, that is a lot.
I
mean, I have 2. I have 2 signed uncuts hanging in my apartment, literally in my living room / room. I live in the studio, and those are Danny's.
Yes.
I feel like, Danny, I could almost hang yours in the living room and use them for testing.
Yeah. Let me be the reason you get divorced.
Yeah, and blame it all on him. Be like, Danny, I'm moving
It's
in with
Danny's
you.
fault. It's Danny's fault.
Danny's fault. Completely Danny's fault.
Yep.
Shit.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Hey, at least at least if you order an uncut from somewhere, they're not going to put it in a bubble mailer.
Oh my God, could you imagine if they somehow found a way like
No, imagine a bubble mailer that was long and flat.
It'd be bizarre. I bet you anything if Illusionists sold uncuts,
They do.
they'd probably fold them and put them in a bubble mailer.
Fucking folding.
Yep.
Yeah, at this point.
Put them in
also-
manila envelope.
But also,
Yeah.
let's also not take it. We can't put 100% of the problem on the companies themselves. It's also the actual couriers and the actual logistics companies
Oh yeah.
that have to take blame for it too. Whether it's USPS, UPS, FedEx, the worst one out of them, DHL.
Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, they are. I mean, I can say this from personal experience. I worked for UPS for 5 years. I worked in the warehouses for the unload. I worked unloading the tractor trailers and loading the package cars. So I can tell you from firsthand experience, the unspoken truth is, hey, if you can get it done faster, throw the packages. So
Oh, I imagine all of them like that, just chucking
yeah,
shit.
they teach you hand to surface. So you take one package from one conveyor belt and move it over and place it on another conveyor belt. Where in actuality, you just throw them. I used to throw them over my shoulder onto. Everybody in the business did it, and I went to 2 different buildings in Manhattan, in New York, I should say. And in both buildings was the exact same thing. So it's like, shit's gonna happen. And then on top of that, the funnier part is when they load the trailers. I've seen a small little box underneath, like a 5-pound box that was barely anything in it, underneath a 50-pound box, crushed.
Well, so the box I got from you today with the mini orbit, it looked like someone had thrown it, and this is USPS, which is probably the most reliable of all of them. It looked like someone threw it behind their back and it landed in front of the wheel. Then it got ran over. Then it got kicked, and then it got thrown back into the truck, and then it got thrown into my mailbox. One end was smashed. The other end was like halfway open, and you could tell like they had reclosed it. So
Yeah.
and stuff was
was
lost.
Yeah.
Yep.
Luckily, the
So-
orbit that got to you in one piece, though.
Yeah. And you know
but-
what's bizarre? I think the only reason it didn't fall out is the bubble wrap inside the box got caught with the tape you used to seal it, so it held it closed. Because I had to tear it out of the box to get the deck out, and I think that's the only reason that it survived. But yeah, it's depressing when you open the mailbox and you're like, mother, fuck.
Yeah. And you would think, and
Yeah.
like you said, USPS is basically the most reliable one out of all of them. And the funny thing is, like, I have mine up there. I still have the big box. But for me, it's like I order, as people see on my Instagram feed, as you guys know, I play Magic the Gathering, so I order a lot of singles. So instead of buying packs, I buy individual cards and get them shipped. This company I order from, they're actually out of Washington, called Card Kingdom.
I see some there on the stairs.
I buy individual cards, and it's actually funny because you order all these individual cards, and you would think, okay, how are they going to ship them to you? They actually put them in clear cases that fit a card perfectly, like clear cases that you actually hinge open, and they're like, I can't explain. I don't have one on me. Actually, yes, I do. Hold on, I have literally one right here. So they put them, depending on how many cards you order, they'll put them in a case like this.
Okay.
And then let's say your cards aren't all the way to the top, they're not filled. They'll actually put squished down styrofoam peanuts, close it so it's nice and tight, so the cards actually don't jiggle at all in here. And then they put a little piece of tape on both sides, and one side is actually folded over so you could peel it off. And then they wrap that in bubble wrap, put that into an unfortunate bubble mailer, but in here, these things aren't rattling around, and they stay in pristine condition, because some of the cards that I bought, I mean, granted, I buy a lot though, but the ones that I bought that are expensive are like, $10, $15 a card.
Yeah.
Not, so it's like they're going to make sure the cards stay as mint condition as possible.
And I can see if it's in a hard case, with
like
packaging in the case that's taped shut and then wrapped in bubble wrap, then I can see a bubble mailer.
So, for example, I have these clear cards. So, right, if these cards were not, if this was full to the top, you would not hear that, but because they put packing peanuts on top, squishes it, does not rattle. But they also make sure that they don't overstuff them as well. So, but yeah,
That's somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, so something like this, closed, like if you push this down, you're not going to hear this. Like it'll be like that, literally, no sound. And if for people that are listening to this on Spotify, I'm shaking this right now, and you don't hear anything.
Shake it off, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. Sorry.
We all
yes, we danced to T Swifty.
Yes, we did. Swifty.
No shame.
None whatsoever.
None whatsoever.
But yeah,
you know,
like,
I want Nickelback and Taylor Swift to do a song together. Wouldn't that just break the internet? Anyway, way to bring the the podcast down there.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, hell, even the MCR's coming back with a tour.
My Chemical Romance.
Yeah, they're doing another.
You know,
tour.
they were gonna do the tour, and then COVID hit.
Yeah, yep. Now it's rescheduled, and they're coming back to New York in this month or next month.
I don't need to cut my wrists anymore.
You know, it's funny. Side note. I don't know if we can we side note about a concert real quick?
We can side note about whatever the hell you want to side note about.
We are the podcast, John.
So I'm a big rock guy. I like heavy rock. I like metalcore.
Like Granite?
Yes, the harder the better. That's what she said. So I went to it was in Asking Alexandria and some band I never heard of, and then a band called Black Veil Brides. Never heard of them until that point, so I looked into them a couple of days before the concert. They're kind of like an emo-ish band. So what I didn't realize is this was an all ages concert. So I showed up and there was BVB shirts everywhere, and nobody with their shirts on was over the age of like 15. All black, like shit ton of makeup, long hair, X's on their hands, all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And so it was like, normally I like to go down in the pit and just hang out at the rail and, you know, kind of get that full experience. Full of kids and all their parents lined up on the back rail, just like watching them and just looking miserable. And so I just sat up at the bar and drank, but it was funny. So you're talking about killing yourself.
I have the opposite story on this one. So a few years ago, I went to go see Billy Joel in concert at Madison Square Garden.
I heard he's a dick.
I don't know him personally. I do like his music. I don't know him personally. Maybe he is a dick in person. But I actually had skybox seats, so I'm in the skybox. And, of course, sold out Madison Square Garden. I know, right? Oh, fancy.
No, and sold out.
Yeah.
No. We're going to get there. Hold on. We're going to get there why it was sold out. So you were just saying, you know, by the rail was all the 15-year-olds with X's and everything. By the rail, all on the main floor, nobody under the age of 55.
Wow.
And
that makes sense, though.
No, but then you also see, it's funny because the minute he starts playing, 75 and 80-year-olds act like they're back in their 20s. They rush towards the stage. And I kid you not.
You can hear all the walkers clinking, clink.
Seriously. Clink. No, I've seen it. I saw walkers, people with canes, and all of a sudden you just see them right by, all squished up together. Billy! Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Like, I swear to God.
So,
and everybody, even in attendance, almost a good, like, I would say a good 75% of the attendance was at least 57, 60 plus, at least. And anybody younger, they were there with their parents because they grew up with that music in the household. But for the most part, it was everybody 57 plus, I would say.
So, did the whole place smell like Bengay instead of marijuana?
See, I don't know since I was up in the sky.
I was in a box.
I could just see the parking lots full of retirement home vans and handicap placards.
John, you do realize Madison Square Garden's in Manhattan. There are no parking lots, right?
Boom.
I've never been there.
The
streets.
Madison Square Garden's in the middle on 7th Avenue. So there is no.
If you go look in like on satellite images of these sporting arenas in New York, in Boston and all that, it's crazy. Like Fenway, how does that even fit there anymore? Like it just makes no sense when you look at it now.
Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, just kind of squeeze it in there. It just doesn't make it. Like, where does everybody park?
Funny enough, is Yankee Stadium in New York is in the Bronx, and they actually have parking lots for Yankee Stadium.
See, the closest one I have is Mariners Stadium, and that's parking everywhere.
Fenway. It was the funniest thing when I was looking at ballparks like a couple months ago. Fenway is like the funniest fucking looking thing from above.
Yeah,
because it's just part of the neighborhood.
I'm gonna have to look at it after we're done.
Yeah.
Yep. See that Madison Square Garden? Madison Square Garden is right. It's a circle, but it's a circle. They call it Madison Square Garden, but it's a circle.
It's not even a square.
It takes up one square block though.
It's because everybody that plays in it and everything is square.
But it's also it's funny because it's Madison Square Garden connected to Penn Station, so you have two things at once. So you have Madison Square Garden and Penn Station right there.
I'll have to look it up. Yeah, I've never been over that way either. So
the only way I would ever go to New York is to go see the Yankees and the Red Sox stadiums. That's it. And maybe the Mets.
I would do that.
No,
I would do that.
If you do that, you have to come to Yankee Stadium when they play the Red Sox. It is the best time of the life. Especially
nothing better than watching the Yankees lose at a home game.
They won that home game when I was there. When they
no, I know. I'm just kidding.
Okay, hey.
You gotta remember, I'm a Boston fan.
Hey. Let's back up here. One time I went to Reno, surprise, and me and my wife went and saw Kenny Rogers when he was still with us, alive, and we were the youngest people by at least 40 years in that room. Okay, this is probably about 2 years before he died. Well, a couple years before he died, but right before he stopped touring. And I mean, the guy looked like he could barely stand. Sang great,
yeah, right.
But like, we're looking around, we're like, the fuck.
I went to a Def Leppard Styx concert. That was, I mean, it was great. It was great, but yeah, you want to talk about old artists?
Old people, right?
You could tell like super winded after one song.
I've been to a Fleetwood Mac concert. Same thing.
Oh yeah.
And this is why Journey replaced got a young guy who can run around. So because everybody else is like, I gotta sit down and play this fucking guitar.
No, but in all honesty, even with Fleetwood Mac though, I went to go see them in concert at Madison Square Garden, and it was actually really good.
I do not like that band at all.
I'm not a fan of their music, but I was like, all right, they're pretty good. But the drummer, whoever the drummer is, he actually blew out the speakers at Madison Square Garden. They gave him a solo. He just went off. I was like, oh shit, he actually blew out the speakers, which was hilarious. But my favorite concert, now that we're talking about concerts, I saw Pink in concert.
I heard she's pretty good.
Amazing. It is an experience. It's not a concert. It's an experience. And it was by far my favorite concert I've ever been to in my life. I couldn't say that hands down.
I saw One Direction once when they were still 5 instead of 4.
So in which direction?
I drove 6 hours to go see them.
So in
this is like completely opposite spectrum of what I listen to.
I just had to say something. I just okay.
Oh man.
Fuck it. The best concert I've ever seen was Eric Church. He came out and he played a 3-hour set by himself. No opening act, nothing.
Wow.
He played 3 hours with a 10-minute break in between the two sets.
Jeez. You know, the best country artist I've seen was probably Dierks Bentley.
I saw Dierks Bentley at a punk rock club in San Francisco. It was for a radio station contest, and he was only supposed to play acoustic for like maybe 30 minutes. He brought his whole band and said, fuck it, I can't play this place acoustically, and they played a full set. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I saw when my wife and I were dating, we went to a Dan and Shay concert. And
I'm sorry.
Chris Lane opened for him.
So we have this tequila. Sorry.
Well, so we have this place. It's called Fox Theater. It was built in the 1800s, so it's got like amazing vintage lighting and seating. It's like that old school, like really old school feel. And they actually, like, them in that place was perfect. It was perfect.
I can't stand Dan and Shay.
They're great live.
They are like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I can't, dude. I can't do it.
I don't listen to a lot of country music. Can I be 100%
I don't either.
The only country, I mean, I listen to some mainstream stuff, but one of my good friends, he's actually a country artist, and he actually has good music, so I listen to his music. His name is Dylan Jacobson. So if you guys want to know,
you should message me that later. I like listening to indie guys.
Yeah, he has a very old school, almost sounds like kind of old school country voice, but it's more old meets modern kind of thing. But he's cool. He's actually like around my age. He's actually super cool. And a friend of mine through Fortnite. Haha, see Dan, Fortnite.
Oh,
see?
There you go.
Fortnite. Oh, no, I'm kidding. But yeah, in all honesty, I don't listen to a lot of music in general.
I have to have it in my life almost at all times.
Same.
See, I didn't grow up with it. I did not grow up in my house. We never played music. I never played any. I had video games, but we never played board games in my house. We never like with my parents. We never did. I'm an only child, but we never did any of that.
Yeah, we were an Elton John and Huey Lewis household growing up.
We were AC/DC and Def Leppard and all
See,
that.
it's so funny because like our generation, it's one or the other. You're either that soft adult contemporary rock, or your metal, like or rock or whatever, right?
See, and nowadays I listen to stuff that no one likes. My music. So my favorite genre is metalcore. So it's got screaming, it's got really good cleans, it's got crazy double bass. The drummers are insane.
So you're talking about James' style.
I think I sent James a couple examples, and if I remember right, I think it was heavier than what he thought it was going to be.
Okay.
So, but that's not to say I don't appreciate the other stuff. And
obviously, if you went and saw Dan and Shay.
I've seen a very large spectrum of music. I was in jazz band when I was in high school, so I've heard it all.
Well, you know, a lot of people don't know that metal is pretty technical.
It is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I like. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah. No, we go from cards to music. Same thing.
Hey,
you know,
it
works.
It's
hobbies, both hobbies. Same.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
cards, music, and baseball.
Hey.
Football season's right around the corner.
I say I'm more
baseball.
of a golf guy, but
I haven't watched the NFL in 2 years, so yeah.
I'm gonna try to watch more NFL. You know, gonna try.
I need a new team.
I'll start watching it once it stops becoming about politics.
We're
about sports again.
We're stopping right there. We don't want to. Yep. We're not going. We'll talk about Dan and Shay all day long before we talk about that.
Yeah. It's a side note, but I'm a golf guy anyways, so I like hitting little white balls around grass.
Oh, you don't follow. You like playing it. You don't follow it.
No, I follow golf too.
So what do you think of the live thing?
I think that honestly, a player should be able to play wherever he wants.
Thank you. Why can't they have two leagues that
they can
exist without punishing the other?
It's because the tour is that old school mentality,
and it needs to not. I'm all for it. I'm hoping. I hope it succeeds. I don't know because they're paying all those guys all this money.
That's the thing. They're two different, same sport, two different experiences, if you want to call it that, and that should be perfectly fine. People should be able to play. I agree. Cross play.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't see an issue with it. They're professional. If they're getting paid, good on them.
Yeah, I mean,
and if they're playing the live term, they're making a shit ton of money.
Yeah, they are.
Let's be real. Holy crap! Oh man, that's probably why the PGA Tour is so pissed off because I don't think they could pay them what live tournament's paying them.
No, they probably could. They just don't want it.
Want to?
Yeah. That's true.
So anyway, that's a whole. That's a
okay,
whole other
here
podcast.
I'm going to side note this one more time because I saw it today. Okay, so they're coming out with the new golf video game, and Tiger Woods is finally back as the face of it. Right? It's not EA Sports, it's 2K, and they announced the something today, and the dude who played Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore started the interview, and he's like, "Hey, we're here with like the greatest golfer and all this other stuff," and he goes, "Oh yeah, and Tiger Woods is here." I just thought it was hilarious that there's Shooter McGavin with Tiger Woods. It was fucking great.
That's awesome.
That's actually really hilarious.
It'll be his kid soon. Tiger's kid is a freaking monster.
See, this next generation is going to have Tiger Woods' kid and LeBron's kid. Like,
LeBron's
they're just going to keep it going.
Really,
but I thought only one of his kids is really good. Like he's going to be in the NBA.
Yeah, really makes me wish Kobe had a kid that played basketball. That was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic, though.
I don't watch basketball. That's the one sport I don't follow.
Baseball.
I used to. Baseball. It's America's sport. It really is. You can anybody can go. You know, the best thing. Sorry, I don't know if we're trying to end or keep.
Who the hell fucking knows at this point?
Yeah,
one of my. So the closest team we have to where I live is the Mariners.
Yes, who have not made the playoffs in 20 years.
Right. So it's about a 7-hour drive. Well, I don't really follow baseball, but one of the things I always had on my bucket list was I wanted to go to a baseball game. I wanted to have a beer and a hot dog and watch baseball.
Beer and hot dogs don't taste any better than at a fucking ballpark.
Well, but it's the experience.
Yep.
I wanted to go experience a baseball game. I wanted to have a hot dog and a beer.
Yep.
So my wife found out about that, and so for my first birthday that we were together, she surprised me. We did a trip to Seattle. And we went to I can't remember who it was. I don't even know who they were playing, but got to for my first baseball game. I had 2 hot dogs and a beer. We got a nice hotel downtown. It was the greatest thing ever. And it's like, I don't even follow baseball that much, but it was like one of the coolest things. It's so cool.
Yeah. I did that. So, I did that with when I'm a Yankee fan, and I remember years ago, my best friend, so we're both native New Yorkers, and I'm a diehard Yankee fan. Always have been my whole life. Just family has always been. He's a native New Yorker, but he's a Toronto Blue Jays fan. Don't know why. Yeah, Dan, add like 20 plus more to that. That's what.
Yes, but we didn't have to pay up the ass for this.
Hey, we still have 20 something more.
Okay.
No, so I remember going, and we were like, oh, let's get tickets. And I found out the little loophole with the Yankee Stadium how to get really good seats. So on one level, there's usually the handicap section where they have handicap seats where the wheelchairs can go up, and they don't have to go down any stairs. It's just right there, scoot up to the end, and they can watch the game. And you can actually get your own seats there as well. So my friend and I, we got seats there because it's a huge section. You could actually buy. They have a few seats available for non-handicap. The best thing about it is 2 things. One, the people in front of you, when they stand up, they do not interfere with your line of eyesight, so you actually still see everything. 2, the where to get hot dogs and beers right behind us.
Nice.
Perfect.
So we just had to walk literally 15 feet behind us, grabbed a couple more hot dogs, a couple more beers, sat back down, and and then of course the bathrooms were right there, so we had the perfect spot watching everything. Then I did the same thing when I went to go watch Mariano Rivera play his very last game in Yankee Stadium. So Enter the Sandman.
Best closer ever.
Best closer ever. Enter the Sandman played. Everybody on their feet. It was literally the most. I was like, holy shit! And it's like one of those things like. Your Yankee Stadium, doesn't matter if you're not a Yankee fan or not, Mariano Rivera is one of the best closers in baseball. His last game at Yankee Stadium was one of the most, besides Jeter and all them.
I was going to say Jeter was probably the most emotional one, but yeah.
Jeter was the most emotional, but Mariano Rivera was right up there because you have the last of the original 9 or core members of the team, they would call it. But that was
I hate that team so much, but, respect.
They were fucking good.
Yeah, they were.
Can we just all agree, though?
That the Red Sox suck? Yeah.
No, seeing a game in person.
Oh, by the way, Henry, FYI, Dodgers suck too.
Hey, they did win though the other day when he was there.
Yeah, they still suck.
One out of how many? Just one thing that stuck with me about going to because again I don't follow baseball a whole lot was seeing a game. It's just something you have to experience, and it's so much different of all the sports that I've seen on TV and been to in person. That is the biggest contrast for the better. And it was just like, it was the coolest thing. It's still one of the coolest things I've ever done.
I was going to say, hockey is probably number one, I think.
See, hockey's not around here where I live. Hockey's not like a very big thing.
Man, I tell you, I liked watching hockey. I saw it live a few times, and now watching on TV is a whole different experience because of the live
We do have
game.
a local arena football team, and that is fun to watch.
Huh? Yeah, I've never. I never have. Yeah.
Oh, it's so much fun. Yeah.
I just, I think
football I'll watch, but that's just...
live NFL football is so boring.
See, that I've never been to.
It's so boring.
I love it.
I don't think I want to.
For me, yeah. I've been to many a Raider game back in the day when they were here in Oakland.
See, I don't have a team. You don't kill me before I finish my statement. I was a diehard Pats fan. When Bledsoe threw. Because Bledsoe is from my area. He grew up where I live.
You see, I'm a diehard Giants fan.
New York Giants.
Of course, New York Giants. That's, Jets don't count. So, little tip, my thing is, I do not like any New York team that ends in the letters ETS. So the Mets, the Jets, and the Nets, I cannot stand.
That's a great way to put it.
I don't count hockey because I don't follow hockey. So I follow a little bit of basketball, not much, but I just don't understand hockey, so I don't count it. So don't murder me in the comments below. But the Giants being the Giants, and when Tom Brady was Tom Brady, the Giants stopped his perfect season.
It's true.
And I'm gonna say this. So I say this. This is what I say. All my Giants friends hate me for saying this. And
all three of them?
Yeah, seriously. It's actually true. It's actually kind of true, sadly to say. No, but everybody who's a Giants fan will probably hate me for saying this. Eli Manning sucked.
I was going to say, you guys had the better Manning, technically.
God, he was awful.
No. Eli sucked. They were like, oh, but he got you 2 rings. No. It was actually Strahan in the defense that was able to hold him off. I'm like, let's be honest. Who was the MVP? It was the defense. Because back then, it was the Big Blue Wrecking Crew that the defense knocked back the offense. Now, they're like, oh, yeah, Eli got you too. I'm like, no. But then again, if I was in any game, if I had to pick one quarterback, and I was two minutes left in the game, I needed to go downfield, get a touchdown within 2 minutes, I actually would put Tom Brady in my team. I hate him.
Thank you.
I hate him, but he was an amazing player in his prime.
I'd rather lose. I can't. You know, I don't know.
My favorite quarterback of all time, though, one of my favorites was Peyton Manning.
I got a controversial one for you.
Oh God.
Rich Gannon when he played for the Oakland Raiders. You want to know why?
Geez.
Watch his clips. He throws sidearm, and it's just those few years, and Tom Brady ruined it. Tom Brady ruined the Oakland Raiders franchise. The tuck rule game, the playoff in the snow. It was a fumble, and he even admitted to it years later. And if it wasn't for that, would Tom Brady be who he is today?
I can't even dive into the Brady conversation because
he sucks. I know.
I like the Pats. I was a diehard Pats fan when Bledsoe threw. I continue to be a Pats fan when Brady came on because I was a Pats fan.
Mm-hmm.
There's no denying Brady's good. He just is.
Yeah,
I mean, you could deny it if you want. He's good.
I know. Yeah,
It's like people who hate LeBron. I hate LeBron, but he's good.
But I hate LeBron. I hate LeBron because he team jumps.
That as well.
Yeah.
So that being said, so
but you know why he went to the Lakers and not the other LA team though, right?
Because no one wants to play for the fucking Clippers.
No, he has no need for Clippers.
Except for Griffin.
He has no need for Clippers.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. There's lakes in LA. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time, and I live in the Bay Area, and I would get killed for saying that because Joe Montana, right?
You know who won the one QB I'm interested to see how he does this year is Russell Wilson because he went to Denver.
So
now here's the interesting thing.
Here's
the interesting thing.
Go from the
Seattle's
Seahawks.
First game is at home against Denver.
Yeah.
And I can't wait.
It's going to be interesting how he handles the altitude.
I hate the sea chickens. I despise that bandwagon has so many people on each other's laps at this point. It's unreal.
I was on it.
I can't stand them. They're horrible.
I liked Marshawn Lynch because he came from Cal.
So I'm only here so I don't get fined.
There you go.
See, I'm a Giants fan no matter what. I don't care if they have the shittiest, like you with the Oakland A's, Dan. Sorry to say, they can have the shittiest team. I'm still gonna be a fan no matter what. The Yankees. It's been 13 years since we won the last pennant. I think
and they're gonna win it this year, and then Aaron Judge is gonna walk. There you go. You're gonna win your championship, but you're gonna lose your franchise player all at the same time.
I doubt he's gonna walk.
No, he'll walk. He'll walk. I'll guarantee it right now. I will bet you this Ryder back blue deck that he walks. Or else he would have signed. Or he would have signed his extension already instead of telling them to pretty much fuck off. I'm done.
That's true.
Okay. Hey, Baseball is Dead is a podcast that you should all listen to if you like baseball. It's great. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, he'll walk. You'll win and he'll walk. Because the Dodgers ain't gonna fucking win it. Because the Dodgers don't win World Series in full seasons.
Ooh, this is true.
Shots fired.
I mean, it's true.
Shots fired directly at Henry.
It was 1988 before they won it. So I can talk shit because the A's last won a World Series in '89. Okay, Dodgers won it in '88 because the COVID season doesn't really count.
That is true. Sorry, Henry. That is true.
Well, guys, I think we had
I think we should wrap it up here.
I think we had a really interesting podcast. We went from shipping cards, talking about cards, deck checks, to music, to
sports. Yep.
Yeah.
That's good though. No, see, that's I like it.
And next, we'll talk about our favorite food on the next episode.
Oh, I love food. Don't get me started.
Oh, of course.
Shimmer.
That is...
Boom.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's it for now, huh?
Moral of the story for the whole podcast is don't buy decks from Illusionist.
Don't buy decks from Illusionist.
And remember, friends don't let friends use bubble mailers.
Yes. Amen to that.
Amen.
On that one, guys, we'll see you at the next one.
See ya.
Peace.
See ya.